Welcome to another episode on how to build your own supercomputer. And in this episode, I'm going to show you how you can reset your NVMe drive that is attached to your Turing RK1 module. Now, here are some timestamps if you want to skip ahead. Let's get started. I am Garrett, and this is TimmerTech. So I'm going to show you how you can reset your NVMe drive. Please note, this is not a full data wipe. I'm going to use the same NVMe drive in the node again. So I'm just going to reset it so I can reinstall the flashed OS to the NVMe drive. Now in this episode, I'm going to use things I talked about in my previous episode. So if you want to know how to access the boot log, how to interrupt the boot to boot from the internal chip, please watch my video. I put the link here on top. And furthermore, in my previous episode, I did a similar. I literally did what I'm going to show you. However, I did not show you how you can reset it to reinstall your OS from your internal storage chip to your NVMe drive. That's what I'm going to show you today. So I'm going to reset the NVMe drive of node 1. Now, here's what we're going to do. We are going to reboot node 1, interrupt the boot log, boot from its internal storage, and then wipe the NVMe drive. For that, we need 2 terminals. So let's get them ready. So let's jump to our first terminal. And in this terminal, what we're going to do is we are going to log into our BMC. So root at, and I'm going to use the IP address for my BMC, .15, and I'm going to log in. Now, in this first terminal, what we're going to do, so we're going to attach this terminal to the serial console of node 1. I also did that in the previously mentioned video. Also, you can find the link to that video down below. So we're going to use PycoCom for this. And we're going to use node 1 device. I'm Turing PI 2.5, so that will be TTY S1, and we're going to set the baud rate, the speed to 115200. And we are attached to node 1. Now let's jump to our second terminal, shut down the node, turn it off, power it on, and interrupt the boot process. So we can boot from the internal storage. So let's jump to terminal 2. Here we are. And what we're going to do is we are going to also log into our BMC so that we do not have to provide any username password. So I'm going to log into my BMC again in this terminal. Here we go. And we are gonna, you know what? I'm gonna do a clean shutdown. So I'm gonna log out and I'm gonna log into my node with SSH. And here we are. So I'm gonna say shutdown, sudo shutdown -h halt server now. Now, if we jump back to node 1, to terminal 1, we now see, cool, power down. Node is now in power down mode. Now, if we jump to terminal 2, and we're going to log in to the BMC, and we're going to check the power status. It's still turned on, but it is in power down mode. So let's turn it off completely. TPI power -n for node 1 off. Cool. Check the power status, all nodes off. Okay, now I'm gonna prime the power on command for node 1. So TPI power on -n1, and I'm gonna switch you guys to the terminal. Now here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna power on the node, then I interrupt the boot process and set it to boot from its internal storage so that we can make modifications to the NVMe drive while it is not being mounted. So here we go. Quickly switch focus to this terminal. Interrupt auto boot. Yes, I just was barely in time. So To switch to to booting from the internal storage, we're gonna do set environment boot underscore targets mmc0. Enter, and then we're gonna say boot up. Here we go. This should only take a few seconds, and then we should be done. Cool, we're booted up. Now we're gonna switch to our other terminal. Let's keep this serial console open. Let's go this, and then we're gonna log out of our BMC and we're gonna log in. And does this work? Yay, it still works. So yeah, I actually provisioned this one before I copied over with the NVMe drive. Before I installed it to the NVMe drive, I provisioned this server with the SSH key. So that was a clear, easy benefit. Now I'm gonna check if we are actually on the NVMe, that we're not on the NVMe storage. So I'm gonna cut the etc m tab, that's the mount table, and I'm gonna grab space / space quote, and perfect. Now, as you can see, the root partition is mounted from the MMC block device partition 2. This means we are running now on the internal storage of the Turing RK1 module. And now we can reset the NVMe drive. So if I would check right now for the NVMe asterisk, we see that we have an NVMe 0, that's the controller, the NVMe 0 and 1, that's the block device, and we got a first and second partition. Now, resetting an NVMe drive, not full wipe, no secure wipe where you overwrite everything, all the zeros and ones, doing a full wipe. I'm personally not a fan of that because that actually increases the wear and tear of NVMe drives. And for me, it does not matter because I am gonna reuse this NVMe drive in the same node. So I don't care. It's a different story if you're reselling NVMe drives or handing them over to somebody else. Totally different story. Then I agree you should do a full secure data wipe. But I'm just resetting it because I'm in the process of building up my own supercomputer. So how do we do it? Very simple. There's a command for it. It's called wipefs, wipe file systems. This command will wipe the entire partition table, everything from the disk, not the data, but the partition table, all the index, etc., and makes it look like it was a full, normal, clean device. So we do that. We do need root for that, by the way. So we're gonna do sudo wipe fs, and we're gonna give it the block device. Don't do this on the controller. We need to give it the block device. So we're gonna do -a for all, for a complete wipe, and we're gonna do /dev NVMe 0 and 1. And here we go. And it says reread partition table, success. It erased a bunch of stuff from the disk. Now, if we are now gonna do the same command by going with the arrow up to list what kind of NVMe devices we now have in our OS, we see we only have the controller and an empty block device. Perfect. So that's it. Simply use the wipefs command and you can reset your NVMe drive. Please note that what I just shown you is only just for resetting the drive. This is not a full data wipe where you overwrite all your data, which you would need in a secure wipe. This is just to reset your device in case that you need to do a reprovisioning of the server, you broke something, you need to reset the device. This is how you would do it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment below, like and subscribe. It really helps me out. And I see you in the next episode. I am Garrett and this is TimmerTech.